Hello. So it is the
8th of January.
Yeah. Sunday the 8th of January. It's a horrible, miserable, foggy, misty, rainy kind of wet day.
Wintry day. Yeah.
So we've got odd lights on, and we've got a window. There's not much light coming through the window, so we're kind of hoping this will look okay. It's either this or lots and lots of fluorescent lights, and that kind of knocks things out. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, it doesn't do anyone ever any favours either.
No.
So we'll avoid that. Nice soft lighting.
So I am Laura.
And Deirdre. And we are together, Olann. Available at, I'm going to get it right this time, www.olann.ie. We've just published the 7. Well, how many W's did I put in the last time? 5. We've just published issue 7 of the magazine just before Christmas, so that's available at the website, on the website at the moment. And then we're all over social media really, so we have our Facebook page, we have our Twitter page, Instagram, and Pinterest. But anyway, but separately.
And did you say Twitter? Yeah, I think you said Twitter.
Yeah. Separately then, I'm Deirdre McCardle on Instagram, and I am Donna Diamond on Ravelry.
I always think you should change your Instagram to Donna Diamond.
Maybe I should actually.
Sorry, I said that on camera.
Yeah, maybe I should do. Yeah.
You should have your spy name everywhere.
I should have actually, yeah, that's true.
And I'm Left Foot Daisy everywhere. So Left Foot Daisy on Instagram, Facebook, and I have a blog that's Left Foot Daisy Confessions of a Fibre Strumpet, which I've been a bit slack with lately. Normally I'm really good, but I've been slack lately. So I need to do my word of the year. Actually, I should have asked you about that before you were on. Before we recorded, I should have asked. Yeah. I'm thinking mine might be honest.
What was yours last year? Belief?
Faith.
Faith. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But not faith in a religious sense, more faith in
people and yourself.
And myself and my decisions. And I think similarly, I think honest might be my one. I took a photo of me with no makeup on to do a blog post that was like honest. So I'll have to get it done.
Not that I think you probably would look very similar, but just for you, that's a big deal.
Oh yeah, massive deal. Yeah, I don't go out without my makeup.
So, I'm sure you probably look nearly exactly the same.
I was like, oh, my skin looks okay and stuff. Yeah. So, no makeup, no glasses. So proper. This is me.
Wow.
So I will get that done sooner or later. So, So I think that's all of our housekeeping.
Yep.
And if you have a word of the year, if you're doing the word of the year, it'd be good to know. I think it'd be kind of cool. So I suppose launching in, because we're going to be making the issues this year quarterly.
Oh yeah.
I think probably we're going to split things up a little bit more, aren't we? I suppose kind of.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And it will mean we'll get time to show more things in the podcast before the next issue as well. I suppose.
Yeah, we won't have to pack them all in.
So one of the designs that we featured in the last issue was the simple stripe sweater by Christine, who her designing name is Mad Monkey Knits. So it's red and white stripes, and it looks beautiful, but the lighting is probably going to cause problems with it. So it's just a little. It was knitted flat and then seamed, just a little jumper, and it's got a popper opening on the side of the shoulder, which I can't open. There we go. Oh, yeah. So that it can go over baby's head. And the yarn that it was knitting is the Debbie Bliss Rialto DK, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
The sweater is knitted in Scarlet, which is shade 12, and Ecru. Ecru, is that how you pronounce it?
Ecru. I think it must be.
And that's shade 2. And then
we are probably going to knit a second one of these, because the model for that one in the issue is my little nephew Callum, and it's his birthday coming up, so I think I'm going to knit him one. We got this nice, what shade is this actually?
I think it's actually called Indigo.
Okay.
And I think that one's called Stone, and so they just look kind of
they're really nice together.
Yeah.
So that'd be a nice little kind of a little boy's colour actually, and it's a nice cute little knit, nice and quick, and the stripes are adorable.
Yeah, who doesn't like stripes? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christine, I think Christine has has literally over 1,000 designs on Ravelry. She's a prolific designer, and she has these great photos of her in a gorilla suit.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
You'd have to go off Googling to find out what we mean.
Yeah, really cool.
But it's one of the 5 designs that featured in the last issue, isn't it?
Yeah, bumper issue.
We'll do another design next time.
Yeah. We did then in our Kits, Tools and Quirky Bits. So we're going to divide it. Like, we obviously had a good few bits and pieces in that, but we're going to kind of space them out over a few podcasts. So we did. I'm going to do the embroidery because that's my new bag, as it were. I've kind of gone embroidery mad, but we got these cool kits from Zembroidery. So it's like you know those adult colouring books? I certainly have a load of them. So it's like that, but colouring in with threads. So they've given us, as you can see here, it's like a mandala, and then little letterings with nice little doodles in them. And then they've given us these super brightly coloured embroidery threads, which are just really vibrant. And obviously you use them together to make really pretty kind of, colouring. It's like a colouring book.
It's like colouring stitches,
it's exactly
isn't it?
that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So it's really modern and vibrant and a really, really nice. I'm not going to say beginners because it looks, the designs are quite intricate, but I would say, I'm certainly a beginner, and I'd be comfortable giving that a go.
Yeah, they've got tutorials on their website.
Oh, they do,
for different stitches as well.
Oh, cool. So yeah, it's a really nice kit actually, and they've given us little little bits and bobs here as well, like little sequins and stuff that you can add just to embellish the embroidery. So really really nice kit, and a really nice gift actually if you knew anyone who was into embroidery. I think that would be.
Or just starting out.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, they were really lovely to deal with as well. It definitely seems to be something that is grabbing people a little bit.
Yes,
everybody's gone a bit embroidery mad, I think, at the moment.
Yeah. It just looks very. It just creates nice images, and I guess images work really well on social media.
And it's a slower process, so I think you have to be a bit more mindful of it, don't you?
That's true.
Like knitting, we're all fans of knitting and being able to knit without thinking about it, just row after row after row. But you kind of lose the mindfulness, I think, a little bit of that. If you need to do it occasionally, but sometimes you want something that you can just spend a little bit more time on and a little bit more immersed in it. And
because it's so detailed as well, and you have to concentrate. I have to concentrate. I presume people who are better at it than I am, you're really kind of, and it's so kind of detailed. You really have to look at it and really kind of take care. I'm enjoying. I was trying to do French knots, and it took me ages to get it perfect, but I was determined to do it, and then I looked up and an hour had passed and I had 2 French knots to my name that I was happy with. So but I didn't mind that. You know what I mean? It was fine. Yeah,
my French knots never look the same.
Oh right,
never look the same.
I'd say it is tricky enough to get them uniform, but I think actually not uniform is probably
that's
I think I say that anyway. Yeah, it's nice.
And then the second one that we want to show, on our last podcast, I actually had a really bright 70s orange drawstring bag, and a couple of people asked us about it because they were quite taken with it. But we actually, I think I mentioned at the time that we featured Melly from Rick Rat Room in our Kits, Tools and Quirky Bits anyway, because I deliberately hadn't used the bag on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
until we'd mentioned it. So Melly, she sews lots of different project bags, and the one that we had before was a drawstring bag, but she sent us one of these zipped wedge bags as well. So it's got the lovely wedge bottom, and it came complete with a little progress keeper, which is a little ball of wool. I don't know. Can you see it? Maybe, possibly. And then Melly also puts in a little bag of lavender, which means then that everything smells lovely and keeps the moths away.
Oh, that's cool.
In case they did get into the bag.
Imagine, horrific.
Yeah, open the bag, your worst nightmares come all at once.
Actually, my worst nightmare.
So Melly as she sews as Rick Rack Room, and she's only on Etsy. She doesn't have a Facebook, she doesn't have an Instagram, and she regularly updates her shop with new bags, new project bags. They're very reasonably priced as well. She's in the UK, in Nottingham, but they're very reasonably priced, including the postage as well. She, when I was talking to her, she tries really hard to source vintage fabrics, I suppose offcuts, you know, that kind of thing, so she can keep her prices down, because she thinks that everybody should be entitled to have something nice to put their project in.
That's nice.
So yeah, so check her out. She's she's got some lovely stuff.
Cool.
So that we're only going to do 2 of our kits, tools and quirky bits, aren't we? Just to kind of spread it out a bit, but break things up a bit as well.
Yeah.
So now we have to do our ta-da.
Oh yeah, because we've been. I mean, you've been busier than I have. I don't know. Why wasn't I? I don't know. Oh, you were ill and you kind of just were forced hibernation. Yeah. Whereas, not that I was mad going around or anything. I just don't know why. But anyway, I think the last time we did the podcast, I was in the middle of my Sweet Simple Cowl.
You've just started it.
Oh yeah, and I was using that yellow and white relax from Ali Filati, Adri Fialati. Anyway, we'll put it in the notes. But anyway, I have finished. I have finished the cowl. It is. Look, it's just simple.
It is.
But I like the color combo is. Yeah, it's really pretty and bright, and actually it's still a little damp because I was blocking it yesterday.
Oh, I like it.
But it's just a kind of a nice, loose cowl.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect, actually. So I work from home, and sometimes rather than putting on a big shawl, if I'm a little bit chilly, I'll just put on like a little cowl. So this is grand.
Yeah.
I like it, and it's
really nice.
Sunshine.
Colours look good.
The colours are
really
good. Yeah. So it's a really simple. Actually, it's a really simple.
How much yarn did it take? I assume you've got quite.
I mean, I have so much. I could probably do. I could nearly, I think, do another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got about half both balls left.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Mind you, it's one of those yarns that would be nice just to have a few colours in case you did any colour work or anything.
Yeah, because the yellows and the cream are very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'll hang on to them. But yeah, really happy with that. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't allowed to bring any FOs to the last episode because I was told we weren't showing FOs. So yeah, I'm gonna get my own back. So
abundance.
I finished this and I finished this, and I'm wearing an FO. So the FO I'm wearing is my vitamin D cardigan, and it's red, and I know it blurs. And we did actually take my husband and I went and took some photos of it outside. In the week, but even they the red blew out. It was a beautiful frosty day here, and so I'll try and get some more photos. So is red
usually very hard to photograph?
Yeah, really hard to photograph. So I shall try really hard to get some more photographs. I'll see if I can persuade my son to come out with me in a minute after we've done this, and see if we can get some more. And I'll insert a photograph here now. Of something.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll come out. So now there's going to be a photograph. And then, as Dee was saying, because I was ill, I was literally just like, oh. So I've been really good. I've been finishing projects.
Very productive.
And I've got loads more. But I thought I shouldn't show you. So there's loads of socks. And actually, it's all about the socks for me at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think I probably won't cast on many more socks for a while because I think I'll have been stocked out. So you might remember this if you read the magazine, which we hope you do. Mm-hmm. We did a socks 101. So we broke down what a sock, the different parts of a sock, to discuss the different elements and different options for things that you could do with them. And I made this sock out of Wendy Mode Chunky and Wendy Serenity Chunky, just using bits and pieces. So it's a chunky sock, and I knitted it on 5 mils. But I'm not one to waste things, so I did another one. so they're probably going to be like bed socks or kind of padding around the house. And they're actually really cozy.
Are they?
Yeah, really, really cozy. So this is going to be like in different weights of socks. So I've got chunky socks here.
Oh yeah.
And then I've got my first Aran weight sock that I've ever made. and I kept the yarn and the ball bag.
It's really nice.
So this is in a yarn called, it's an Opal yarn, and it's Opal XL or X large. So that's what the sock looks like. And I'll write on my project notes how many stitches I did. I have a size 3 foot, so they're never very long. I think this is probably a little bit longer than my normal socks. Yeah. And I used a 4mm for that. And this is what the ball band looks like. So I suppose X large is what it's called. And it's an 8 ply, and the shade was 9224.
Oh, it's really nice.
Yeah, and they're not anywhere near as thick as you think they would be, are
they're
they?
not at all.
I mean, these are proper chunky, these ones.
Yeah.
But that's not very thick at all.
No.
And then my other pair of socks.
These are beautiful.
Oh, so cool! Oh my word! I've been dying to wear them.
I mean, you haven't worn them yet?
No, I haven't worn them. I've been like, oh god, I need to wear them. So in the last episode, I showed you the collaboration that I bought from. I have the cards here. There we go. Have the cards. So it was Whimsy Stitches and Rock and String Creations. Cool. I'll turn it that way, it's better. And I bought the bag. Remember the bag?
Oh yeah.
And the sock yarn, of which I have quite a lot left.
Decent.
Yeah. So, but look at the socks.
Amazing.
Aren't they just cool? So I cast these on Christmas Eve, and I think in truth I probably had them done about three days later, I think. And I wasn't knitting excessively over Christmas. I'm saying that, but I must have been, because I finished them. It didn't seem like it seemed like I slept a lot more over Christmas than I normally do. And then the cuffs, heels and toes are just done in the grey Fable drops, which is shade 115. When we were on our yarn crawl, I picked up quite a few different colours in the solids just to use for cuffs, heels and toes. I don't know what it's going to wear like. I'll be interested to see.
Yeah.
It feels nice. Yeah, and
they're just beautiful.
I love them.
Yeah,
yes,
they're beautiful.
Yes. I see several more striped pair of socks in my future. I made Dina a pair.
I loved those.
Yeah. That
Mind the Gap.
Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, lovely. By Trailing Clouds. It's lovely yarn, and I made her those, and she loves them. So. I've promised Dina 2 pairs of socks a month. Two pairs of socks a month.
A month, jeez Louise.
2 pairs of socks a year now. Now that I know she likes them. Sometimes I've knitted things. I don't think she'll mind me saying. Sometimes I've knitted things and she doesn't wear them, even though she might have picked them. But the socks, they're a win. And then the last ta-da that I'm going to show you is just a quick toasty and textured hat. That's the same hat that I always make myself. And I used the Drop Sandies, which again, I bought on the yarn crawl. And that does it have a shade? Shade 3740. And I was joking when I picked it up that we weren't to spend any more time together, because it's pink. Yeah, it's like a salmon.
I've infiltrated your mind.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's a nice warm pink, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. It's kind of a dusky, kind of, No, it's lovely. Yeah. Really nice.
And it was just because I needed another. You can never have too many hats.
That's for sure.
No, she says, because I've cast on 2 more. So I got my own back, because whole pile of FOs.
Whole pile.
So next we'll do our giveaway, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
Which means while you chat, I can do.
So as you know, if you were watching the last podcast, we had a really good giveaway actually. So we had 3 separate giveaways, and we had 3 balls of the Opal popcorn sock yarn. Really bright. I'm going to try to show you all of them together. Really bright, cool colours, and they will go into our Mother Ficka bags, which are the bags that we got made for the girls who came on our yarn crawl. And so we asked on our Ravelry group, what was your favourite project, or what was your favourite project that you worked on this year, and why? And so we got a good few responses, and really interesting projects actually. It was good to see what everybody had been working on, because then I think the good thing about Ravelry is people put in photos, so like it's, you could say, oh, I did this or that, but actually when you're looking at the photos, it's really kind of cool to be able to see the finished objects. So I was really impressed with some of the bits and bobs that people had done.
So our first winner is, we had 9. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, are you?
No. It's kind of
So
clear.
you have to trust me, it says 9. The first winner is number 9. I'll do the next one, number 8, and then number 3. So then I can tell you who they are. So number 3 is Inked and Crafty.
Oh yeah, and she had a lovely cardigan, wasn't it?
Yeah, here, you can read what that one says while I write.
So it was the Vivian at Last cardigan, or Vivian cardigan. Vivian at Last cardigan. It's a really, really nice kind of fitted. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
should-
just
well,
really nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a lace panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Really
it is
cool.
actually really lovely. One of us will probably do a blog post, I suppose, just to...
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good idea. Mm-hmm.
And then we have... Would help if I was counting, wouldn't it?
So that was 3, 4.
8. Oh,
Oh,
the
cool.
lady that lives in Lismore.
Ah.
So I'll leave you.
So she made a little Miss Gelato giraffe, which is kind of like a little stuffed giraffe that she had. I remember seeing this on Instagram actually. She had kind of this giraffe character knit in kind of a stripy yarn.
Is this Darina? Is that how you pronounce it?
Darina, yeah.
Darina.
Mhm. And she had him just, you know the way people take photos of like a little character in different places that they've been. So she had done a series of photos of this little giraffe guy.
Cool.
On holidays, it looks like, because they look like blue skies, which I don't think she would have
Yeah.
got here. Maybe I'm wrong.
We need to find this out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she's used Conra Girls Irish
Ah,
Rainbow as
cool.
well.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And then the last one is Tickles.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. Tickles 114.
And so she made the rock pool. I'm gonna say shawl, but it's probably more of a scarf because it's not a triangle. It doesn't look like a triangle shawl. It's like a straight one. Maybe a wrap. I don't know. But anyway, it's called rock pool, and it's a nice lacy kind of delicate knit. Actually, it looks really
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah. Oh God, I was talking about that. In my head, I want to say it's a drop yarn, but I could be wrong.
Mm.
But yeah, so we'll get in contact with everyone that's won,
Yeah.
and you'll have to trust us that those were the winners.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get
Oh
those
yeah.
in the
We're
post.
very trustworthy.
Yeah, we'll get those in the post. The pink one's not going to Deirdre, and the
No.
blue one's not going to me.
They're going out. Oh yeah. So yeah, and if you do win those, maybe take a photograph and
I just say yeah.
yeah, got it. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be good to see. So congratulations to all the winners there. That's great. Moving along, then we had a few things that we've started. Well, obviously, a few things on the needles. I have. I'm going to say I've got a hoe, actually, not a faux, but a hoe. It's The World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits, and it's really cool. So yeah, I've one finished and one I've started. It's kind of, I didn't want it to be like second sock or second mitten syndrome, so I started straight away. So actually, it's such a quick knit that I'd probably be finished in a day or two, I reckon. And to be fair, like I know, you think World's Simplest Mittens, but actually that it was so simple.
Yeah.
It was so well written and easy to work. And I used Green Elephant yarns. It's a DK weight. It's called Purple Panther. I'm just going to show you there. So it's grey, cream, and purple, and it looks really, really. I think it knits up really nice. It has a nice kind of pattern to it. So these are going to my sister, who loves purple. And not me, who doesn't like purple.
Lady.
But yeah, so there, it'll be lovely. Well, I feel like, it's nearly finished. I can just go around with one.
I have to say they look really good.
I'm really, really happy with
Was
them.
there Tin Can Knits were doing something with that over Christmas, weren't they? Were they trying to get people to kind of take the pattern and to funk it up? And then I think I'm right. So last year they had their 12 days of pattern giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this year they were encouraging people to knit mittens, but to zhuzh it up, so to put colour work or to do lace or something. I think I'm right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because I think all of their photographs in their pattern were all just solid colours.
Okay.
And I think, well, they looked all really, really cool actually, but I was thinking they would look nice in stripes or like, a cuff of a different colour or as a, like, a stripe.
And the cuffs are nice and long.
Yeah, they are actually.
Yeah.
It's, as I said, it really is a lovely simple knit, and like, because I was kind of thinking, oh, but the actual thumb construction is really, really, like, you know, you knit, kind of just do increases up to here, and then you leave that on waste yarn, finish it all up here, and then you just do another, like, it's crazy simple. Yeah. A nice.
That's what it says on the tin.
Exactly. It's a nice knit.
Yeah.
And they have all different sizes. What I love about their patterns is they have all different sizes and for all different weights of yarn. So you can go from fingering all the way up to chunky. So that's really cool, actually. Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. You do it again then? You do that?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Good. My it'll be lovely when it's finished. So all about socks. The reason I said it's all about the different weights of socks is because I'm actually knitting a double knit sock as well, so 6 ply. So this was a naughty little bugger, and it was a naughty little bugger up to about here. And I pulled it out yesterday. That's what I'm actually doing, is my kind of New Year resolution to myself was to try and wade into the naughty little buggers a little bit. So and I did actually finish this last night. I finished the toe and I tried it on, and it was a little bit long.
Oh, okay.
So I've ripped back down to where I've got to put the toe again in. So to be honest, it'll only probably take about 15 minutes to get it in, because it was such a quick knit. And then I'll start the second one. I don't have the ball band. I know it was an Opal an Opal 6 ply again, and it was one that I used to sell in the shop. So I might even be able to find it out from going back through stock sheets and what have you. But again, I know it's really weird. I don't think that feels. I suppose there's a bit of a difference, but it's not as much as you think it would be.
No, in fairness, I was thinking that when I was looking at this, that it felt DK-ish.
So this one, so the DK I'm knitting on is 3mm.
Right.
And the Aran had done on 4. Yeah.
It's not a massive difference.
No, and I just thought I'm just going to literally kind of try and pull out a naughty little bugger. I got some others finished over Christmas as well. I think I got I was making a Quaker yarn stretcher, so I got that done. I can't think what else, but there were definitely a couple of there was a crochet shawl that I think I'd shown on the podcast, maybe one of the first episodes.
Yeah.
And I finished that, and just trying to get through something.
I know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Before I cast on any more.
I know. Well, that's the thing.
And then this. Look, I even stopped in the middle of the row. Again, I'd done loads of this yesterday and I realised I hadn't increased. I must have been having a moment, so I had to rip it back down to the rib. So although this looks like a hat, and effectively it is a beret, I'm actually going to felt it, and it'll end up looking like a pod. So kind of like a bowl with a gathered in top. Because for my Kris Kringle for our spinning, weaving and dyeing guild in Cork, I'm a member of the guild, we give a Kris Kringle, and we do that in our January meeting, which is our AGM, and we kind of have, I suppose, like a party. We all take food and stuff like that. And we said we would do a container this year. Now I do weave and I do spin and I do dye, but where I've been ill, I'm behind. Basically I'm behind. So I thought I'd knit up one of these and felt it. I could have cheated and given one of the ones I've already done, but I thought it'd be nice to kind of...
Oh yeah, it's a cool colour.
Yeah, now I'm not actually sure if I'm going to give this one, because I haven't ever made one in this yarn. So I tend to make them in collarnet quite a lot, and I've got some collarnet left, before they go.
Oh god.
So this might end up for me or for someone else, and I might do another one. But it's quick. I'd taken this out in the car yesterday. I had to go visiting yesterday, and I grabbed the longest cable. And I was like, I'm not doing it magic loop, which is what I would normally do. I was like, no, I'd already cast it. And I was like, oh my god, this is so cumbersome.
Oh
yeah.
God.
So, and the yarn for that I'm using, I don't know if they still make it, is the Rico Design Creative Filts in Filts. Yes.
Filts. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's in shade 45. So, and I'll get that done today and get that sewn up and put in the washing machine. So that will be another effort, which you won't see because I'm giving it away.
I need to get my skates on.
Yeah, and then I've got stuff for the magazine. Have you cast on your one? Yeah. So then we're making stuff for the magazine as well.
Yeah.
So there are other things, and I've got some gifts.
I have some birthday gifts I need to do. Yeah. It's all good.
So we're busy.
For sure.
And then I suppose the last thing we probably chat about on this episode is we had to have it.
Yeah.
So you can go first.
Okay, yeah, well, I've been very restrained this Christmas, and actually, I didn't get, like, I didn't even ask for kind of knitting related stuff or wool related
Especially
stuff.
on our yarn crawl though, just
Yeah, I
before.
kind of felt like I had enough, so I was looking for different little bits and pieces. But I was fortunate enough, we do, within our group, our knitting group, we do a Chris Kindle where we knit or make, well actually it's more make, but because there was a lot of different kind of crafts this year, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, there was.
We make a decoration or a Christmassy kind of themed thing, and then we put them all into a bag, we pick a number, and then we kind of are, you know, nobody knows what you're going to get.
It's more organised than that, she's lying.
Yeah.
I write down a number of what everyone gets.
It's a little bit more organised than that. I know, in fairness.
So no one gets what they've given.
Yeah, exactly. There is that. Yeah, that's true. And so I was fortunate enough actually to get this wonderful bag. It's called a Bento Bag. Well, I think that's
cool.
what the design is called. So the construction you can see there, I don't know if you can see, but you will see it goes down on a diagonal here and here. So as far as I know, it's two triangles like put together and then the same on the inside. So I think you start off with 4 triangles and then assign them in the kind of reversible. And our friend Carol, who is a bento bag guru, who had an impromptu kind of bento bag making day. We weren't able to go because we were down in Limerick at the lace making conference.
And
but
there was Pavlova.
There was Pavlova, yeah, it was very sad.
We weren't pleased.
No. That's the last time they'll do that. But anyway, so Carol made me this, well not me, but she made a bag and I was lucky enough to choose it, to pick it out of the hat. And so it's cool, so you have the button up top here so you can kind of hold it like this, like a regular. If you kind of have something you want to keep a bit more secure, you simply tie it in a knot. So it's like one of those old, you know, those Huckleberry Finn stories where you can imagine a bit of a stick and you can like hold it like that. That's what I was picturing when I got it. But it's
when you leave home, you can take it with you.
Yeah, exactly. Dick Whittington off to the city to seek my fortune. But it's a dinky little bag. It's perfect for a project. And it's okay. This is Christmas material, but I don't mind because I think I'm actually just going to use it all year round because it's such pretty material, and I love the spotty material on the inside, and they're reversible as well, so you can actually flip it too. So really, really kind of
it is really nice,
different and unusual construction. I love it. It's perfect. And if I could dust off my sewing machine, it would be something I would definitely try. Because apparently they're straightforward, easy enough to make.
Carol, we need another session.
Yeah, and Leanne, we need some more Pavlova. For this.
Oh my god, this Pavlova. Like, it was handmade meringue. She brought it to knitting group one night. Leanne brought it to knitting group, so it was like a handmade Pavlova base, and then it was loads of fresh whipped cream, wasn't there? And then homemade lemon curd, and then almonds, wasn't it?
I think so.
Like toasted almond sprinkles. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm salivating just.
Delicious. Yeah. So that's what they were doing. Yeah. No, that's not to say the lace making event wasn't really interesting. But
it wasn't Pavlova.
Pavlova, lace, I don't know. Anyway, just saying.
Thank God none of us have decided that we're going to diet. Well, you are watching for the wedding, impending wedding, sister's wedding coming up. Yeah. I've given up. Life without cake just isn't nice.
It's not nice. No, it's not nice.
So
it's not.
No, I was good. I didn't buy anything, but I did get given stuff over Christmas. So my eldest son, Duran, went into This Is Knit, which I'm having spoken to some of our friends at knitting group on Wednesday. Someone else had gone in, hadn't they, as well? Yeah. And he went into This Is Knit and just said, "My mum knits socks." Basically, he didn't say who I was or anything. I was like, really? Oh. So he said that the lady that served him had shown him some lovely sock yarn, but it wasn't in colours that he liked. So he bought me this hank, which is the Tannhauser yarns Camden Tweed, which is their 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal nep,
cool.
and there's 400 metres on there, and it's in the shade New Grange, and it's
It's cool. I love
It's
the
a really unusual colour, isn't it?
It is, and I love the flecks or the neps or whatever they are. It's really, really interesting.
It's like a greeny, browny. I can't.
Yeah, and it's even a kind of a goldy vibe off it.
Mustardy colour off of it as well. It's a really unusual colour. I think I probably will end up doing socks with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure it's the best near my face, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably end up doing socks for it. Although I did buy some brown. I bought Pebble off of Terry from Fine Fish Yarns. I think it was Pebble. I might have a look and see what that looks like with it. But I kind of envisage kind of cabley socks with it. Do you know?
Nice.
Very like the ones that Heather designed for the magazine. That kind of thing, like a
no,
cable.
Yeah.
But it's so that was one of my we had to have it. So unbeknown to me, we had to have it.
Yeah.
Now this was definitely a we had to have it. This was on my list. So I did well at my children. So Iran bought this, and Dina bought this.
Yeah.
Dina and Shane bought this. So this is Nora Gorn's new book, the Knitted Cable Source book, and I know quite a few people got this for Christmas.
Wow.
Because Dina said she struggled to get it.
No way, really? Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I love Nora Gorn's designs. I think she has a great understanding of the female form in particular, you know, and her designs never seem to be just upsized. Do you know what I mean? Like some designs, like if you're a bigger lady or a top heavy lady, you're not necessarily really tall. Do you know what I mean? Or you're not necessarily wide. To be frank, I'm very busty, but I'm only a 34 round my back. So I think some designers forget that. You know, they don't maybe put in things like shaping and decreases and stuff like that. And she tends to be very, very good. Her stuff tends to be very, very good. And there's some, so this is a swatch book, so you go through it. I have to be careful how I show. We'll put Melly's bag there. So it's all different swatches, different cable swatches, and the directions on how to do them. But interspersed with the cable swatches, there are several patterns. And I meant to mark, there's a hat. There's a couple of things in here that I really, really love. But there's this hat, it's a cloche. And it is glowing. Oh wow, that one there.
That's really cool.
So I think that one's going to go straight on
the
list. I actually love this jumper. I must check if this is a Nora Gorn design. I know it's a basic garter stitch jumper.
That's lovely.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, so the book is hefty, isn't it?
But I mean, it's the kind of book. It's like a reference book.
Yeah.
Like you know. Yeah,
and like this, I love this jumper on the back. I would knit it straight. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that I've got a dress on like that, a tunic on like today, but I would knit it straight.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the way those cables just move in and out of each other, aren't they fab? And it actually, considering it's such a hefty book, it was only £19.99. Yeah, 15 garments. So the book contains 15 garments and 150 stitch patterns. Most of them are published here for the first time. So it's definitely, if you like your cables, like me, and I do have a love of cables, it's definitely one to, maybe the library would have it and you could see what it's like and see if it's for you. I did get sent other yarn. Trying to think. Yeah, I did get sent other yarn. Yeah. But I didn't. I think, like yourself, it was limited this year. I'd been and bought the stuff myself, I think.
Yeah. I definitely had enough. God, wait till I tell you what Glenn did. I know now it's terrible. So I had organised all my stash into my lovely kind of clear boxes, and I had taken a photograph, and you had seen it on Instagram, and I was delighted with myself, and I'd put them up in the wardrobe, and everything was fine. And then over the Christmas, he was doing stuff with beer and bottles and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, do you mind if I, use your boxes?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, but just make sure like that,
oh no, he didn't do what I think he did. Oh,
so the boxes are now back in the room, but I went to open the wardrobe, and literally he'd just taken the balls of wool out and thrown them up onto the top shelf of the wardrobe. So it's this big mash of yarn.
So you'd sorted it all out
completely
because you'd done your
I
four
divided
ply
into And like there's literally yarn everywhere. I opened the door, stuff fell on my head, like ridiculous. Ridiculous. I was so mad. I was so mad at him. So yeah. And then when I said it, I was like, what? And he's like, but sure, like it's all just like just doesn't understand. Even though he was there the day that I was sorting it out and could see how long it took me to, you know, put everything in. Yeah. Anyway, sigh. Sigh.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe he should make some kind of recompense.
I know.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because now I have to do it. I have to essentially do it again because I couldn't face it. So it's still all there, and I need to do it again.
Yeah, vote.
So annoying.
1, 2, 3, Hanks. What do you think?
Man, yeah. I wonder does anyone else feel my pain? I do think, yeah, I probably do, to be fair. Yeah.
I'd hate that.
Oh my god.
I'd absolutely hate that.
I couldn't believe it.
To be fair though, let's be honest, I've had a shop for years, so Con is like well versed in yarn.
Just no care, no nothing, just threw them. Literally, well, he must have thrown them because they were not in any kind of, you know, they were literally just thrown up. Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. That's what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, that's not good.
Anyway, that's my moan
You should
over.
just tell him it's all damaged and he's got to replace it all.
I mean, there's hundreds of quid worth there. Like.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah.
Moan over. I just needed to tell somebody now to like everybody. I don't think he watches the podcast anyway. So no.
My husband doesn't.
Oh god, no.
No. I don't. For a change, I don't have anything to slag him off about. I feel like I should. Yeah. I feel like I should share.
Yeah, like the kind of we could have a new section in the podcast. What your husband did now. Oh man, yeah. I'll definitely fill that up every week. Anyway, sure. Anyway.
Because I don't see mine every week. Mine's gone to the UK again this morning. So, which is great. It means I can put knitting projects everywhere. Not that he's ever mown, but I don't think he needs to know exactly how many I work on at one stage.
Definitely true. Yeah. Keep it on the low key. Yeah.
So I think that's us done.
That's it. Nice and nice and short.
No swearing, no rude comments.
No. Managed to get through it. New Year's resolution. I've been slapped on the wrist. I'm not doing it again.
No honk honk.
No.
So we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Time.
Yeah, and we'll chat about some other bits and pieces that are in the latest issue, and hopefully we'll have a bit more to show you.
A bit more to show you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So thanks so much for joining us, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.